take you on basically a day in the life of an academic entrepreneur. Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to take you on basically a day in the life of an academic entrepreneur, summer edition. And it is July, which is the beginning of quarter three. And I always say that quarter three is really like the setup quarter for academic entrepreneurs, especially if you follow like a traditional academic schedule. Like, we still got some of summer, but also the fall semester is beginning very soon. So now is the time to set your business up for success so that you have a smooth transition into the fall semester, and also set up your system so you don't actually neglect your business in the fall. Because I feel like that always happens. Like, fall begins and it's like, I got to write my syllabi. I got to get the first day of class stuff going. I got to print the things. I'm getting all these emails from students asking about what to expect. People jumping in the class, out the class. It's so overwhelming and so easy to not have time for your business. So what can you be setting up now? And so that's what we did together in my community, my membership for academic entrepreneurs called the Secret Society of Academic Entrepreneurs. So yesterday we did our quarter three planning session where we meet together, and I have like a workbook that we go through together to plan out our goals, what we're going to be selling, our revenue projections, how we're going to promote and support each other and all of that. So it was a great time. So I did this for myself as well during the session. And now it's time to take action and set things up. And so I'm going to show you what I do beyond the quarter three planning session. Like, what am I actually doing with those plans? And what I thought would be cool is to create for myself what I create for my clients. So I create these like CEO manuals and like dashboards for my clients, where I basically give them a Google Doc of their whole business, their offers, who they help, the projects they're working on step by step, how to do the tech, like all of the things. And then I put it together in a very pretty Trello board with their brand colors. And I'll show some examples of ones I've done before. I've actually haven't done that for myself in years. So I was like, this is the perfect time. I'm going to do the Trello board and CEO manual for myself, and I probably will make it available for you. So if I have, there'll be a link in the description of this video of how to get yours made by me. Okay, so I got a few things I need to do. My desk is a mess and I feel like I can be a little bit more productive when my desk is put together. So I'm going to start by getting organized and cleaning a bit, and then I will update you after that is done. All right, here is the messy desk. Okay, desk is clean, now we can begin. So the first thing that I like to start my day off with is a bit of morning devotion, reflection, prayer. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to get into what I'm going to do for the day. Okay, I am ready for the day. I went downstairs, did my hair, did a little light makeup because I do have a meeting today, but let's get into it. So as I mentioned yesterday, I had a quarter three planning session with my Secret Society members in my community, and I need to review my plan, and I'll share like the documents with you. So I create a workbook for everyone, as well as a spreadsheet with like numbers, like what I want to sell and how much I want to sell it for. And so they can do the same and put in their goal, and it feels like this whole pie chart. I'll just kind of show you a little bit of it here. All right, so here is the Q3 planning session. So I have my top goals, I have the numbers, my revenue projections, the offers I'll be offering, my growth strategies, and content planning. And then everyone also gets a spreadsheet with like access to different things, but also you can predict your revenue by putting in your offers, the price point, and it fills in this pie. And the goal is to have the pie be full so that you actually reach your goal. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is take this plan and put it into my CEO manual. So this is the thing that I offer my six-figure professor clients. It is basically a whole Google Doc that just talks about your whole business, maps out your projects step by step. So you can always go to this document, but then I'm gonna make it pretty and put it in a Trello board. So let me show you the template of what it looks like, and then we'll jump in. All right, so here are some of the past examples from clients that I've had. This is like old things. Their business have been updated since, but I just basically create this scrolling document. And so I'm gonna do this for myself. So let me get a template ready to go, and then I'll start filling it in. Okay, so the Google Doc is done. This is just the initial step, is putting all my goals into a document, understanding the revenue potential, understanding the offers, the price points, when I'm going to launch them or promote them, and things like that. So that is what is here. And because I have two brands, I did it twice. Most people will only need to do this process once. So I have my projects mapped out, my content focuses, my themes, things like that, my 5-hour business work week structure, and like what I'm going to be doing during those times. And then my weekly tasks and my monthly tasks. And then also I like to keep track of specific numbers to make sure that what I'm doing is actually effective. And then for my second brand, very similar structure, revenue goal, what I want to offer, the price points of those offers. I need to make this a bit wider. And then the projects I'll be working on, content strategy, 5-hour work week, weekly tasks, monthly tasks, KPIs, and then the funnel that I'm updating. Okay, so this is great to like look at it all at once, but what's most helpful is to have a dashboard or a place to go to just know what to do. All right, so this is one of the very first dashboards I ever made for one of my friends, and they all have like the same category. So business at a glance, this is where they can go directly to their Google Doc and get all of the things that's in their 90-day dashboard. They have the profit plan, so they know exactly what things they'll be selling in the next 90 days. Key performance indicators, so this is the Google Doc that helps them track the key metrics that lets them know if they're successful or not, a reminder of what their business is. And I always do a video walkthrough on like how to use all of the things in case you are unfamiliar with Trello or how to access your documents and things like that. Then I always make sure I have their offers there, where I include all of the details about each offer and how they're promoting it and things like that. And even if they just like have ideas for stuff but they're not sure, it goes in here so they don't forget about it. Now, how do you actually implement? Well, there are projects that everyone has to work on to make progress on their goals. So the big projects, I love Trello's like checklist, because they can just like check off and like show the progress. I love when I can see the progress that I've done. And so this client had 2 phases. They were working on something big. So they had 2 phases. And then there's their 5-hour business work week, where I have their weekly tasks. So they can come in and check off their weekly tasks every single week, as well as their monthly tasks every month. And then I also create a personal weekly schedule. So that's her schedule mapped out. All right, so I won't go into details for the others, but let me go in here. Let me show you some other ones, right? Different vibe when there's different brand colors. All right, so here is another one. Different vibe, different brand colors. And then of course you can change the background easily. Different vibe, different brand colors. So I'm gonna make my own with a different vibe, different brand colors. So the visuals are done. I make them in Canva for these cover images. And so my Business at a Glance offers my Dr. Toyin Alli brand projects, my Academic Society projects, my 5-hour business work week, my Dr. Toyin Alli content, Academic Society content, and done. Also, it's so cool when you drag stuff to the done tab. Let me show you what it looks like. So because I put this little party emoji there, one of my clients showed me this. And if I take one of my projects and then I drag it into the done, confetti, yay! So these are not my projects, these are my clients. I just duplicated the board. And so now all I just need to do is replace my client stuff with my own. And then I'll show you what that looks like. But now I'm about to take a break because I have a pod meeting. And I'll tell you what that is in just a moment. All right, so I am part of a business networking community called the MixerMind, and it's with a lot of digital entrepreneurs, maybe some names you've actually heard of, which is pretty cool. And we get to know each other, we support each other's businesses, we share what we're doing. We have like round tables where we get to share like our expertise. So recently I shared what I'm doing in my membership in my community, and last year I shared like what was working in 2024 when because I feel like the digital marketing space got so weird, and so I shared a few things that was working with the group. And we also have these small groups. There's like over 150 people in this community, but we have these small pods, and I was recently asked to be a pod leader. So I meet with 4 or 5 other members of the community just to update each other, support each other, and just like become a closer knit community. So I have a pod meeting today at 11, and it's really cool. I actually have an academic entrepreneur in my pod. You may know Dr. Paulina Cassette, who helps academics become copy editors, which is really cool. Or just editors, like editing academic papers and things like that. So yeah, I have a meeting, and one of the things one of my clients asks is like, how do you keep going forward and keep making progress in your business when you don't get the feedback you need, when you aren't hearing, like people aren't booking you, people aren't responding to your content? Like, how do you keep going through it all? And part of that answer for me is having community. This is literally so normal and such a normal experience, but you don't really know that when you aren't seeing others around you and you're only seeing like the highlight reel. But when you get behind the scenes of other people's businesses, you realize, oh, they're having the same struggles as me, and it is completely normal. Like, someone can be successful in their business, but also people don't comment on their stuff. Or people can be super successful in their business, but also they create an offer that no one buys. Like, that is completely normal, and it happens to everyone. And I find that being in community and talking about these things normalizes it, gives you motivation, and you can learn from other people like, well, what did you do instead? Like, how did you fix this issue? So I love being in community, which is one of the reasons why I created my own community, the Secret Society of Academic Entrepreneurs. If you're an academic and an entrepreneur, I would love for you to join. I'll put a link for it in the description of this video. Okay, let me take a little break, and I have 30 minutes to get ready for my pod meeting. All right, feel free to wave. Thank you. All right, I had a quick lunch and break, watched some Love Island, a couple YouTube videos while I ate my lunch, and I have like 25 minutes before a coaching call. So I'm in a coaching program called $1 Million CEO, and we have 2 coaching calls every single week. one on Wednesday, which is a themed day, and today is Wednesday, and then the other on Thursday, which is just an open coaching session. So on our theme days, we have different themes that are like outcomes of the program. And so today's theme call is on profit. So we get coaching around making our business profitable, keeping profit, and mindset around profit and things like that. So I want to make sure I'm at that call today. And because I do have that call coming up, I feel like now is a good time to do some admin work. I love doing admin work right before a meeting because these are things I might typically procrastinate on or avoid. And I find that when I give myself a small window of time where I have to like physically leave or go to a meeting or something, that's like the perfect time to be productive and do those small like admin tasks and just get it done without dragging it on because I don't feel like doing it. So what am I doing now? I am creating a private podcast feed for one of my clients. So for my private coaching clients for Six Figure Professor, we have coaching calls. And for every coaching call, it is recorded and added to a private podcast feed for the client. So they can go back and review anything that we've chatted about in our past coaching sessions. So they don't have to be like, oh my gosh, Toyin said something about this one thing that one day when we had that coaching call. And instead of having to email me about it and me try to figure out what I said, they can re-listen to their coaching sessions on 2x speed while they're out for a walk, fast forward, all of the things. And so I just had my first coaching call with a new client, so I need to completely make her feed from scratch. So I thought I'd share how I do that with you. So I'm gonna start in Canva, design the cover image, then I'm gonna go to Hello Audio, which is where I create my private podcast feeds. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so here I am in Canva, and no, I never make anything from scratch. So these are our past clients who have their own private podcast feed. And so what I do is just hit the little duplicate button, put in this client's name, and now the cover image is done. What did that take? 10 seconds? All right, now I'm gonna download it, and we're good to go here. All right, and then I am going to go into Hello Audio. I love private podcasts. I use them for everything. I got so many feeds. I have the Powerhouse plan so I can create an infinite number of podcast feeds. And so what I'm going to do is create a new feed. And actually, I need to remember, what do I title this? Six Figure Professor Audio Experience is what I call it. So I'm going to make a private feed. Notice I'm using 20 of my unlimited private feeds. All right, so this is Ladivia's Six Figure Professor Audio Experience. I am the author. And then I will choose my image that I just downloaded. Save. And then all I have to do is drag the file in. So I already downloaded the audio from our Zoom call. Drag it in. And it's her feed, so she doesn't actually need her name. That was just for my records. So bam. And then I like to put the link to our program dashboard. So access the Six Figure Professor Program dashboard here. I'll put the link in. This is a universal footer, so that means it's going to be in the show notes of every episode that I add here. So I'm going to make sure that is published, and let me get the link. And get their milestones link. Actually, is that where I want to be? Maybe just all courses. That's probably most helpful. All right, and then I put it in here. Make sure it's an actual link. I clicked the wrong one. All right, and so now all I have to do is send a follow-up email. That might take me a little more time than just this. I just send a follow-up email from our coaching session, just like as a little recap. This is what we did. Here's the homework I gave you, and here's the link to access your audio feed. Okay, it is the end of the day and I have officially finished my Q3 business dashboard. It looks beautiful. I love how it came out and I love that I can literally just go into my 5-hour business work week under my business operations and just have my checklist of things I need to do every week and things I need to do every month, and then go in there just every day and just start knocking these projects off. I got my projects of finish writing the 2nd edition of my book, #GradBoss. I also have the project of getting 10 new members into my secret society and like what all I'm gonna do to make that happen. It looks really good, really clean, really easy to follow. So now I have a home base for my business for the next quarter. And if you like one of these for yourself, I'll put a link in the description of this video and I can make one of these for you. All right, I think I will finish here. I hope that you enjoyed this style of video. I really enjoyed creating it. And if you have any questions or business questions or anything like you resonated with, related with, want to do in your business, definitely share in the comments and I will chat with you next time. Bye.